Billionaire tech and entrepreneur Mark Andreessen explains inadvertently how DEI has crushed the African American community. Wait, the foundational Black community.
It actually also affects African Americans in a very interesting way, which is actually both the universities and the corporate employers are literally, this is true, they literally import Africans so that they don't have to hire African Americans because they still count as Black. There's a great story. The thing that woke me up to this, there was a story in the New York Times 20 years ago about Harvard. This is Harvard admits, Black students, but which ones? Back when the New York Times could talk about these things honestly. And it quoted actually Henry Louis Gates and Lonnie Guinier at the time at Harvard Law School, basically observing that African Americans were not benefiting from affirmative action because Harvard had figured out that they could import Nigerians. Right, and again, it's just like, great, the Nigerians are great, they're very smart, they're very productive, it's fantastic. All other things being equal, you'd like to have as many of them in your country, but like, is that really why we're doing, the set-aside programs?
This is a part of American history that most immigrants, and specifically I want to talk to the Africans that come here, this is a part of American history that you guys don't understand. And this is why you may think the Black Americans are always complaining. You guys have to understand that we are not a guest here, right? We didn't just get here and like you guys. We're on a completely different program, and the government treats us as such. Let me read this to you. We are the only group in this country with a moral, legal, and historical claim to reparations, land, restitution, and policy power, and the moral authority to challenge the foundation of America. We're the only group that has been here since the beginning. We understand the law of the land. We know how this country was started. We know every single step that this country has been through. And when you have people like that, that's the higher ups don't want to fight with people like that, right? So what they do is they use DEI to they import people who look like us to then put them on the screen, Ketanji Brown Jackson, Karine Jean-Pierre, to make it seem like, yeah, we do hire Black people. Those are first generation people here. Those are not Black Americans. They don't look at this country like we do.
I hope like hell that Black Democrats across this country are looking at California, the state that did all this talk about reparations and then shafted it, and now are turning around and taking all that money that could have been going to Black people and giving it to illegals. I want Black people to understand it's a numbers game. Democrats see Black people leaving the party. So now they want to replace you with illegals that are Latinos who will inch us out by 1% or 2% in the next 20 years when minorities become the majority in this country. They are doing this to keep their vote. Black people, you can quit saying that the Republican Party is racist, because Democrats are showing you now they only use race to their benefit, which makes them racist too. But you guys are the ones that keep getting shafted. Where are the reparations in California for all the redlining that was done? The gentrification, when people's properties were taken. They're not doing any of that. Yet and still they are protesting so illegals can come into their city and their children can take a spot in a classroom in a Black community where the kids are already struggling and give that child a translator and hold that entire classroom behind so that illegal child could catch up. Because remember, the No Child Left Behind Act is leaving our kids behind and is pushing them forward. Black people, you guys have to start looking at things for what they are and get out your feelings. I know it's hard after 60 years to accept that you've been used, but it's in your face now. So what are you going to do about it?
Who are working in my company. I'm a Black man. I own a company. I hire a Latino. The Latino comes back and complain about the African Americans because the Latino thinks because I'm African, I don't have any relationship with the African American. The Latino comes to me and tell me that you are an immigrant. I'm an immigrant. That African American cannot work. I have Jose, I have Gonzalez, my brothers who know how to work very well. You need to fire the African Americans and I will bring a lot of hardworking Latinos who work for your company. This is my company as a black man. My company. I was a contractor at Quantico Marine Base in Virginia. A contractor for General Electrics. And the Latino workers that are hired, they are snitching on the African American workers that are hired for me to fire the African Americans so they can bring Latinos to take their place.
So are Black Americans being replaced in the country? Black Americans built this country. They bled for it, fought for it, died for it, but now it feels like they are now being replaced, pushed out, and erased. From jobs to neighborhoods, and from culture to political power, are they being replaced in plain sight? This is a question I actually want to ask, and this is what we'll be talking about on this particular segment on Global Gist with BJ. You're welcome. Thank you so much for the support. Listen to what these people have to say, right? And then I'll be back with the commentaries. Please do not forget to subscribe, to like, and to share this video to your friends. This promises to be a very interesting topic. See you when I'm back.
So America has put out that new census report differentiating African Americans from the different type of melanated people from islands and actually from Africa. And some people are confused on like, why? Why? Baby, because they're trying to get ahead of things. They're trying to give us the truth even though we're already discovering the truth. They're trying to possibly prevent us from wanting to correct our statuses. Where you differentiated us from African American to the other types of melanated people, baby, give us our titles back. And actually, don't give a shit. Don't give a shit because we're going to still take it. We're still going to take it. Yeah, we're still going to take it because we're not even African Americans. We don't want your reclassification. No, 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 no. We want our land back and we want our titles back. We want our ability to be able to operate freely on our land. So if you think you're doing us a big one by differentiating us and letting the world know that we're actually African Americans, no, baby. Do us the biggest one and get the f out of here. Okay? But to anyone who is confused, it is because out where y'all all think we look alike, honey, a lot of us don't come from Africa. And if our DNA does come from Africa, it's because our ancestors migrated here, possibly through the Grand Canyon, but it's okay. Different topic, different story, different day, but we were here. And many of us can trace our genealogy many generations right here on American soil. And before 1865, before they came, doing stuff, doing the mostest to the hostess, we were already here. And we didn't go by African American. So while they think they're differentiating us, they put our real titles up there. Give us back, don't give us shit. We're taking it.
We have to delineate between white culture black people and black people that are actually black. Black people that actually know we come from Africa. Black people that know 90% of black people in the United States originate from the South. Black people that know the history of black people. Black people that know about African American migration. Black people that not only know about slavery, but know about the Gullah Wars and how our people revolted and stood up. Black people that know about the Underground Railroad in Canada, the Southern Underground Railroad in Mexico. Black people that know blackness, black people that know about the Haitian Revolution and how it led to emancipation for African Americans. Black people that know about black people that migrated from the United States to Haiti between 1804 and 1865 until emancipation passed, which was to stop us from leaving the U.S. and going to meet up with our other black brothers and sisters in Mexico and Haiti and other areas that were free. We got to separate. We can't keep letting people rewrite and revise the story of black Americans about what happened and how we got here, because you're going to end up with RG3s. When you raise people in your family to not understand our origin, where we come from, our history, our story, our culture, you're going to end up raising black people that hate other black people. That's what y'all are seeing on this app. You're seeing some creators that love blackness no matter where we go in life, no matter what we achieve. And you're seeing some creators that will sell the community out for a couple of dollars in a heartbeat. Unapologetically black, Afrocentric, Pan-Africanism 2.0. Y'all be cool.
None of the representation of dark-skinned women in the media are even black American. Yeah, y'all finna hate this take, but it's the truth though. Anok Yai, Alek Wed, a Duck Wetch, Ducky Thoughts. None of those women are black American. In fact, they're all Sudanese, along with a slew of other women signed to major modeling agencies like IMG or Wilhelmina. In fact, the only mainstream black American dark-skinned female I could think of is Precious Lee. And who had her in the music video? Drake. That's right. That's right. None of the black actresses get mainstream recognition either. Why doesn't Angela Bassett have an Academy Award? Taraji P. Henson, where's her Academy Award? But you know who does have an Academy Award? Lupita Nyong'o. And she got it her first year out. First movie. The only black American woman who I could think of who has an Academy Award is Viola Davis. And no shade, love Viola's down. Love Viola Davis down bad. But she is not the standard of beauty for a dark-skinned black American woman. She's lovely. Actually, I lied. Whoopi Goldberg also has an Academy Award. And they called her ugly too. And I'm not saying Whoopi ugly because I don't think that. But she would not be the standard of beauty for a dark-skinned black woman. Let's be clear. Not too many moons ago, y'all were dragging Cynthia Erivo out because of what she said about black culture. But I guess y'all all forgot when y'all felt so represented at the premiere of Wicked, huh? Black people be so caught up in the idea of skin color in a greater black diaspora. Whole time, the black people from over the water then told y'all they ain't us and we ain't them. Whether I agree with that or not is not really the point. The point is they have made lines in the sand when it comes to us every time. I was loving Burna Boy down bad until he said we ain't have roots with our culture. Let's not forget Tyler. Oh, we so happy to see another black girl win. She's not black, she's colored. I will never forgive y'all for how y'all cheered for Black Panther when Killmonger was our real hero. Wakanda left us for dead, and Killmonger was finna take back what was ours. But it's Wakanda forever, right? Be so serious. They never want to give us credit for our culture. They never want to represent us. Fake representation be so weird right in our faces and we be ignoring it. There's no shade to none of those African women. They're all beautiful, but they are not representations of us. I said all of that to say, if you've seen any of my other content along the last couple of days, I said all that to say this. Mixed race people got more in common with us than the rest of them. Because while I would love to have my features represented, mixed race people got more in common with us than the people across the pond. Literally, the only difference between most of them is their skin color. Most of them look phenotypically like us, but with light skin. A lot of the women that I just named, all of those Sudanese women, none of them look like us phenotypically. Yes, we share skin tone, kinda. All of the dark-skinned women represented in media are reaching shades of black I've never seen here in the States. No shade, because black is absolutely beautiful. But a lot of the darker skinned women are African. Like, it's getting to the point where people are telling me I'm brown skinned, but I've been dark skinned my whole life, at least on this side of the fucking water. And I don't like the fact that it's changing because we're including people from other parts of the diaspora. I didn't ask to be brown skinned. That wasn't a thing a couple years back. But because we got so many people from across the water here now, everything's changing. I don't like that because most of them still don't identify with us. Okay, I'm gonna just leave it at that. Anyways, until we come together as African-American descendants of slaves, people across the water, they never gonna respect our culture. Even though they mimicking us, imitating us, doing what we do, they're never gonna respect us. They're always gonna say we're out of touch with our culture, we're out of touch with our roots. And to a lot of extent, they're right for the wrong reasons, but they are right. Because we don't acknowledge that even the mixed race people are a large part of our history and our heritage. Anyways, I'm really gonna leave it at that.
I want to piggyback on the conversation around DEI and how employers and colleges use Africans to replace Black Americans. Now, in order to understand this properly, you have to understand the power structure in America and our American history, okay? Now, there's only one group of people in America that is equal under the law to white people. We can equally have control and equally have power, but Black Americans obviously don't, right? The reason for that is because of systematic racism, right? And DEI was disguised, in my opinion is not law, it's just my opinion, in my opinion, to be a camouflage or a Trojan horse, right? So here's the thing. When positions need to be filled at the very, very top, you have to understand that these people cannot be racist, right? But they would rather have a Black face without an American mindset. They don't want a Black American in here, right? Because now you can't get over on us. You can't tell us whatever. I know the laws just like you know the laws. I know the Constitution. I know how this country was built. And I know we know everything. That's threatening to the power structure, right? You guys can look at me like I'm crazy. Oh, here he goes. I'm trying to tell you guys, you have to understand the power structure in America to understand what I'm saying, and then it'll all make sense. I'm not saying this to hate on Africans. I have nothing but love for you guys. This isn't even about you. This is about the American government and how they're abusing the system. And not only that, now Africans and Black Americans are turning against each other because Black Americans are pointing out that, hey, they're treating them better and giving them more positions. And we know why, right? But I can understand how you guys may look at it as, oh, they're just hating on us. No, 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 no. We're not hating on you. We don't even have the same mindsets. You don't know this country. You don't know shit about this country. You don't know the founders, how it was started. You don't know anything. You don't know the power structure. So you're not going to be combative. Not only that, you're coming from a war-torn shithole country, and all you want is an opportunity, which is absolutely fair, right? So what I'm saying is, bro, you're just a pawn. You're a pawn in the grand scheme of white supremacy holding Black Americans back.
Welcome back. I really must give it to this particular creator. They really did a good one on this one. So now I'm here with the commentaries, right? Let's talk about jobs disappearing. For years, black folks held key roles in the labor force. Now automation is replacing them, and companies are outsourcing work to immigrants or even machines. But when they ask questions, they'll tell them that they are being divisive. How? Then what about gentrification? Gentrification is real. A whole black neighborhoods are being bought out, cleaned up, and sold to wealthy outsiders, which is really, really bad. Then you talk about their culture stolen, and then people, forgotten. Everyone loves the slangs, music, their drip, until it's time to hire them, respect them, or pay them. They want their rhythm, but not their efforts. You see that? Very, very crazy. Then what about in political shift, right? Political power shift. In politics, the black vote is being diluted. Other groups are rising in numbers while black Americans are fighting just to be heard. So sad. Even their identities are now under attack. Now they are told they're not even Africans enough, not immigrants enough, not foreign enough. Meanwhile, their story, the foundation of America, is being ignored. To be honest, this ain't about race, it's about erasure. Black Americans aren't asking for a handout. They just want what they built, what they earned, and what they deserve. What do you think? Do you feel like you're being ignored or erased? Or is it just me talking? Let's talk about it in the comments. I really want to hear your own opinion. Do you think you've been ignored? You've seen those videos, you've seen people talk about how they have been, marginalized and all of that. Do you think this is really true? Have you had any experience? Let me see that in the comments, and do not forget to subscribe. Like and always follow this page for stories like this. I'll be back with the next one. See you. Bye.